What's up, guys? Devil Dog Gamer here. We are playing some War Thunder. Now you guys are like, wow, Devil Dog, we haven't seen any War Thunder in a while, and that's exactly why we're doing this video. Like many of you, I have a love-hate relationship with War Thunder. I really do. And it's nothing against Gaijin, because Gaijin tries their best to make the best game that they possibly can, and I know they get criticism from, you know, anybody, any nation. And they do the best they can. They really do. I've met these guys. They really do enjoy their game, and they really try to make the best game that they can. But at the same time, there's a lot of really frustrating things about this game. But at the end of the day, we still keep coming back to it because there's nothing like this. There's no game out here that takes World War II vehicles and blends it into an arcade and simulator mix. It's either you get arcaded hit points or nothing at all, you know, or you go full sim. There's no real blend, really, except for War Thunder. But then it gets to my point that, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I like playing the game, but at times I get so frustrated with some of the shit that happens that I'm just kind of like, wow, fuck this, and turn it off. Aircraft. Sim mode was my go-to thing for a little while with aircraft, but it got to the point where it was just like, you couldn't see aircraft, you get into stupid flat spins, for no fucking reason whatsoever. Like, you're pulling like a 2G turn and flat spin. Wow, okay. I've been playing flight sims long enough to know that doesn't usually happen that way. You know what I mean? So I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? If I want to fly World War II aircraft in sim mode and have an accurate representation of it, I'm gonna fly motherfucking DCS. Because hey, guess what? That's where it's at. Either that or IL-2. I mean, IL-2. If you're strictly a World War II guy, IL-2 should be your go-to flight sim game. And I did the real battle mix for a while, and it just got to the point where it was just like, why am I doing this? Like, this is a waste of my time. I could just play, you know, a normal sim battle. It's not that there's not anything wrong with the aircraft and the real battle. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's not my cup of tea. So I gave up on aircraft pretty much wholly on War Thunder, unless something cool comes along, like the new and improved sights for the fucking ugly duckling, which is pretty awesome. But mainly, my gripes revolve around tank gameplay. To me, once tanks were released for War Thunder, I was like, okay, this is my jam right here. Like, I'm all about it. 110% about tanks. And at first, there were a lot of issues, but at the same time, I don't think I've had as much fun with tanks as I did when it first was released. The biggest issue when it first came out was the graphics issue. Now, there have been some patches for it that fix it, but it's still kind of an issue. Back in the day, people could turn their graphics up onto low and be able to see everybody. I had my graphics cranked all the way to ultra. And as you can see, there's tons of foliage around, there's trees, you know, there's no proper sight lines. Well, back in the day, somebody could put their shit on low, like Potato, and just completely see everything that walks on the map. I should say crawl, because tanks kind of crawl. And that was fucked up. There were a lot of issues with that. They recently did a graphics update to where people even on low could see a lot of foliage, but it's still not enough. I still find myself getting popped through entire forests by dudes running on Potato settings. That's an issue. That's a huge, huge balance issue. And I feel like, you know what, if the people want to crank it to Potato or they don't have a good computer, you should take away from texture somewhere else other than all the foliage around. You know what? Like, give them an 8-bit tank, for God's sakes. Stop punishing us. Please. I don't like getting shot through an entire fucking forest. Thank you. That's one of my big gripes with it. And the next is matchmaking. Matchmaking. I know a lot of you have issues with this too. I find it pretty much a daily basis if I play this game that I can jump in, you know, 4.0 BR rated tank for Germany, and one round be fighting T-34 1942s, and the next round be fighting T-34 85 DTs. Really? That's some matchmaking right there. That is pretty much a daily basis. I could do that right now. Even with the Dicker's Max that we're using right now, I've gotten matches against T-34 1942s, and the next one's T-34 85s. And guess what? IS-2s for no apparent reason whatsoever. The matchmaking is really unbalanced. It really is. I have actually, and I wish for God's sakes I had recorded this, took out a Panther Alpha D and went against T-54s. No shit. It actually happened. I literally raged. I was like, are you fucking I stood there just pummeling tank. And the T-54s were just looking at me like, what the fuck? Didn't even shoot me. They're just kind of just standing there. Finally, somebody killed me. But it drives me nuts. The matchmaking is an issue. And I feel like part of the matchmaking issue is because of the low player counts. Because nobody wants to sit in a queue for an hour. So I feel like they just kind of throw it together and say, you know what, hey, you know, we need to get this game going and spend matchmaking for 2 minutes. Throw them all together. And that's what you get. To me, I would like to see every match as a historical match against what actually took place in that time period in that region, tank-wise. Say for Kursk. Say everybody hits a matchmake, right? The Kursk map gets pulled up. It needs to pull everybody who is using one of those tanks that was used in that actual battle into it. And that's it. That's all you get. I feel like that would be amazing. I would pay money for something like that. That would be amazing. To me, I want historical balance. You know, it doesn't matter if balance, you know. T-34s versus a Tiger 1. Guess what? It's going to suck for the T-34s, but guess what? You're faster. You're more maneuverable, and hell, you can outflank it. You should do like what the Russians did back in the day. You know what I mean? But it's never going to happen. There would be too much fucking piss matching about that. So that my dream's pretty much dead with that. The next seems to be the next big one is, you know, tank on tank battle. When you shoot a tank, I feel like that's just a roll of the dice, really. I feel like that when you shoot a tank, it doesn't matter what your penetration is, what you're angling, what their angling is. It's just a roll of the dice. The Chieftain, for example. Now, in the time period, the Chieftain was pretty much the greatest tank on the planet. I don't think until the T-64 Alpha with the ERA came out that it was really matched. But yet, I can walk up to a T-54, and no shit, this happens. This is why I don't even play the Chieftain anymore. I can walk up to a T-54, direct side shot it 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row, just completely demolishing the interior of this tank. And it turns and looks at me and just penetrates me and insta-kills me from the front. I feel like that's just a big roll of the dice right there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Double Dog's no dummy. I was in a mechanized infantry battalion. We had LAV-25s. I was trained on the guns with them. I spent a lot of time, you know, with those, and we trained for taking out BMPs, BRDMs, you know, BMDs, stuff like that with them. And I'm gonna tell you this, that when a tank gets hit, it doesn't matter if the crew's dead or alive, it's done. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If a tank gets penetrated, it's game over. The crew inside is pretty much gonna be in such a shocking disarray. No matter what nation, what tank, or, you know, how much training, you take a nasty penetration hit, and you're pretty much done. Game over. None of this bullshit where a Sabo round completely shrapnels the inside of your tank, but the gunner somehow is like, fuck this, turns the turret and kills everybody. No, it's people inside are dead. They're jumping out of the tank. Shit's on fire. Even nowadays, the fucking Challenger 2 took an RPG-29 and it killed, it didn't kill him, but it fucked up the driver's foot. That tank was knocked out of action. The driver lost a foot. It was penetrated, and the driver lost a foot, and it was out of action. That's a Challenger 2, the so-called greatest tank in the world. I don't care what tank it is, and to me, I feel like we're getting shortchanged here. I can shoot a tank, and a shrapnel can rip through the entire inside of it, and it still can just turn, look at me, and laugh, and kill me. That's bullshit. I want realism. When I go sim mode for tanks, I want sim mode for tanks. I don't want to have to continue repeatedly nailing a tank over and over and over again with all penetrating shots until somehow it finally explodes. No, I want it to die right there. Right there. I mean, sure, yeah, there are some possibilities that, you know, the crew could still be saved, or maybe the shrapnel went, yeah, but still, you know, I want it to die. I want it dead. It should be knocked out of action. If anybody's seen me play Steel Beast, as soon as you penetrate any one of those tanks, it's over. It's done. Tank gets hit, it's done. Game over. That's what I want. I want a little more realism. Some people don't agree with me, some people do. It's whatever. But then you get to this stupid stuff with this fucking last man bullshit with War for Thunder. Basically to where if you kill all of a tank's crew, the last man can man every station and still fight with that tank. And no shit, again, with the chieftain, I have knocked out an entire crew, minus the driver, of a T-54. And before I can even see the smoke clear, the guy's in the turret turning towards me and one-shots me. One guy got out of the driver's seat, into the gunner seat, and killed me in that fashion. I tell you what, if I was ever in an LAV and I was the last guy in that fucking vehicle, I'm not sitting in that fucking vehicle. I'm outie. I'm gone. That's just a cop-out to me. I feel like that's bullshit. If more than 50% of the crew gets killed, nobody's gonna stay in that tank. This isn't fucking Fury. You know what I mean? This shit doesn't happen in real life. People are like, fuck this, bro. I'm out of here. To me, it's just bullshit. It's just this bullshit. And this crap with tanks repair. Like, nothing's worse than, like, looking at a tank and his first shot can't penetrate you. Your shot doesn't kill him. So his next shot, he's like, you know what, I got this, and shoots your gun barrel. So then you're stuck repairing your tank for 45 fucking seconds while this guy's over and over and over again pinging your gun barrel. That is so fucking annoying. Like, I love this game, guys. I do. I fucking hate it at the same time. Like, God. I don't know. I want Sim Battle back. I want to be able to get into a fucking Chieftain or a T-54 and play Sim Battle. I don't want to have to wait for an event to come around that has this tank and that tank in it to play Tank Sim Battle. No, I want Sim Battle. So please, guys, at least give me that. At least give me to where I can queue in Sim Battle in whatever fucking tank I want. Ignore all other complaints. Just give me that, please, for the love of God. Anyways, guys, you agree with me, don't agree with me, either way, let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.